Welcome everyone to the August Keystone Heights Heritage Commission meeting. Make sure that this thing is on. Let's do a quick roll call. We got Carrie
Here.
Deidre
Here.
Christine
Here.
myself, and Helen is not here. She had some kind of appointments this morning. All right, let's do our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. So I did email you all the minutes from our June meeting. I don't know if y'all had a time to take a quick look at those. You did?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I make a motion that we accept the June minutes as presented.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are rolling, we are rolling. Okay, old business. Hopefully, I hope everyone had a great July, being doing whatever we all had to do. Mine was pretty hectic, but it was all good to kind of take a month off, right?
Yep. Nice.
So I appreciate the recommendation. So I did confirm with the remaining part of our budget for taking us to September 30th of this year is $1,044. So I know that I have that to work with toward the plaque workshop that we'll discuss here in a bit. The City Council approved the workshop budget and the event in their July meeting, which I was at their meeting here last week and told them thank you very much and certainly reminded them of what that event is going to be all about. I met with Natalie from Clay Today and did an interview about our commission and what we do here to, preserve the historic parts of Keystone Heights and some of the things that we're doing that are different. So I do have the article if anybody wants to see it. She did a really nice job. I'm not so crazy about that picture of me, but
That's their picture.
But she did a nice job. She visited with me for at least an hour. I gave her a tour of the property. She did not realize that it was the founder's home. Again, I run into this all the time here. It's amazing to me, which tells me even more so that we have to have a presence and educate these kids from the beginning. And so they go into this, and she went to high school here. So, she was just really surprised. And she just loved it. She said, I love history, and I'm just so glad you shared all of this with me.
Oh, this is a great picture. Why are you kidding? This looks great.
But anyway, Natalie is a real sweet gal, and I thought she did a really amazing job. And I appreciate them taking the opportunity. One of my goals here with taking this role was to create that awareness on the social perspective, either in media of some sort, whether it's online, type stuff or newspaper, is that I feel like we have to keep kind of showing up, in these things so people know who we are and what we do. And we'll continue with that, it's just the beginning of it, really. So projects, and I'll just go to you, Carrie. I know you said you kind of have to wait till school starts.
Well, good news. Progress. I read the minutes, and so it was on the agenda again. I know we talked about moving it to the spring, but I went ahead and this morning I called Hope Christian and left a message for Virginia Denmark, who I think had stopped and talked with you at the Meet Your Neighbor and whatnot. So
she was super nice.
Yep, left a message for her about the fifth graders coming out for this field trip we want to do at the Historic Pavilion in the spring. And then I called, and so she's going to call me back, and then let me know, I guess, if they were interested at all. And then I called Keystone Heights Elementary, and the front office, they're sending an email to fifth grade team to talk to them about do they want to do this field trip. She said if I don't hear back, to call the front office.
Excellent. That's good, though. I mean,
yeah.
some activity.
Right.
And we're starting off with a new budget in October, so you know, we're good to go with whatever, you know, we decide.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
I said it would be, you know, at the pavilion about teaching the kids about the history of Keystone Heights, like probably bag lunch, we provide the drinks, and there'd be a guest speaker, and, you know, all around good time.
Great. That's awesome.
That's great. I mean, it's such a good idea because the kids really don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't.
Right.
So how do the kids know? And it's not something that is taught in school.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
No, and it was Nina's idea.
That's
Well,
good.
Do you mind if I move up there? I can't hardly.
Oh, sure.
No, sure.
Come on up.
Kathy, come on up here. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, and you know, I go back to it where even at Halloween, you know, I've had kids come up and knock on our door for Halloween night and tell me, you know, I love your home. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here for us. Like kids are 10 or 11 years old. You know, I've been in like Bill's Outlet and start talking to a teenager or whoever, and I tell them which house it's always the greenhouse on the hill. And I'm like, did you know that's the founder for the city? And they're like, what? I said, well, Lawrence Boulevard, I try to explain to them kind of what the deal is there. So they're just all fascinated, or they'll say, oh, I walked by that house when I was walking home from school, and we used to dare each other to touch the stone building that's in the back at your house because we thought it was haunted.
The haunted house. I used to ride my bike back there.
And so I just think it's so cute, the stories.
Especially that
we
little
called it-
stone building.
Little
We
stone
called
building.
it the witch's house.
Yeah, because it has a little tiny,
And
you
there
know,
were
keyhole
rope
in it.
vines, and we would swing off that wall on the rope vines,
Yeah.
like out and back.
I mean, it's all the people I interact with who have a story of some sort that they either want them collected flowers on the back part of the property. You know, I just think it's interesting, you know. But I think we have an opportunity, a perfect opportunity to capture some of that, you know, pushing that knowledge toward the kids and let them embrace it a bit, you know, and something to be really proud of.
Just something I want to say. There's a guy in Jacksonville named Tim Gilmore. He grew up in Jacksonville, and not sporadically or whatever, once a month, he'll put something historical about, and some of it relates to me because I grew up there, blah, blah, blah. But what if we did that on a Facebook page that would be just for that? Because, you know, kids are more like into the media and all that kind of thing. And it would just be, I don't know, we could name it, I was going to make some Keystone History
Well,
and Memories.
we do have a Heritage Commission Facebook page, okay, that not everybody can post on
Well,
it.
not just that, kids now are into Instagram and TikTok, and they don't go on Facebook.
And these
Just
are,
a little bit away.
you know,
Well, I was just trying to think about getting it out. I find that a lot of the things that go on here,
yeah.
not everybody knows that
We-
it's here, 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 and here.
Yeah, and I've posed that question to Steve Hart, and there's some legal things that around just people responding and then you responding
Yeah.
back.
It is
There's
a
some
good
funky
idea.
little things there, but we do have our own Heritage Commission page, and I don't know who actually mans it unless it's handled here.
It's gotta be the city.
It's gotta be the
because we are a
city.
city commission.
Okay.
And so the city should have something like that, and I'm sure if we would be sending like an article on a specific house or anything that we're doing, and we give it to Christina, she should be able to upload
it
that
on there,
and
yeah.
have that on the Keystone Heights official.
What if you made, let's just say her house, Lauren's house, a TikTok with, you could find some music that was acceptable. You don't have to do a whole history of it, but just a couple blurbs, bullet points, for lack of a better word, and just kind of, I don't know, send a link out. I'm not sure how we do it. I know you have things you have to follow. I got that. But just so that we're communicating
So
to
we're
the
more
numbers.
relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could do it yourself personally. Like if you have a TikTok under Nina, you could say, "Hey, I'm Nina. I live in," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and not even
For your own home.
Yeah.
Not associated
Exactly.
with
Don't
the
mention the
Heritage
Heritage
Commission.
I see.
But,
You know, or I
then
could
it would
post something
probably
like,
be
look at
okay.
this cool
Share it,
home down
you know
here,
what
the
I mean?
greenhouse on the hill. Make it known as the greenhouse on the hill, so they don't know who lives there, blah, blah, blah. 'Cause, you know, It's their public, so you
Yeah, and
don't know which weirdos are getting on.
I think there's a lot of opportunity to do
Yeah.
some of that. I know my company does a lot of that. We're trying to promote people donating blood, and actually hired a pop singer to do a rap song that reaches out to all the young people out there on Instagram and TikTok and all of that. and we were observing all the hits around the world that that video received.
Yep.
And what that is promoting people to donate blood, which helps the donation centers, which helps us to do more testing in the facilities, even though it wasn't a direct thing for us personally
Indirect
within our company, but it was to promote growth within that business segment. And so I know there's all kinds of things, it's just we gotta find someone who's savvy with that.
Yeah.
I personally am not. And so I know
semi.
Brandon was here, but now Brandon's moved on to Stark, and he's very savvy with social media. But it's something, I'll just put a note on here, because I do know we do have a Facebook page that's Heritage Commission, but it doesn't look like I can just go on there and put something. I think it has to be done by
Sure.
Well, but if they made you a moderator or administrator, you know, the page you could, and then you can just turn the comments off.
I would rather,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I'd
Like,
rather
you
me be able
do
to
it.
man it, so I don't have to go
Yeah.
through another person to
I mean,
communicate what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
I started a page in Next Door Neighbor.
Yeah.
And not here, but.
Yeah.
And I'm an administrator, and people try to sell things, it's not for that. It's called Good Morning Beautiful.
Right.
Like flowers.
So, yeah, I think,
Kind of like, you know, the local Keystone Heights and Melrose, you know, kind of community page. What we need as a commission is to put the word out without having comments come back.
yeah.
Because the comments kind of
Yeah.
can run crazy, and
They
then
do.
the
Oh, I know.
dialogue goes.
I know, I read them, believe me.
Like the word of mouth thing with,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It's crazy.
And then the dialogue between those people that literally had nothing to do with that,
Yeah,
their
it
home.
grows, yeah.
Right.
It goes wonky.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing we want.
Oh, yeah, so that's when you.
And I really
turn
want-
comment, you know, where you say no comments on those posts, you
Yeah.
know, and you just.
You
And
you can manage that, because I know somebody that does that when it's about pets and they get it, and they'll just turn the comments right off.
Yeah, so for me personally, the biggest thing I wanted to do was create that awareness of things that we're doing, or coming,
Right.
things that are coming up, and you know, just kind of like, oh wow, that's kind of cool they're doing that, you know. For example, we're going to do the wreath thing, say in November, the kids thing, and I'll talk to you about some other projects for next year. Creating that awareness and just having that presence, you know what I mean? I think, and then once we get even pictures of some of these houses, maybe in the original state, you know, we can share that. By the way, did you know that this
Yeah,
house has
exactly.
this? You know what I mean? And just leave it where it's just more or less as a, by the way, an FYI, you know what I mean?
Like it's
Not even-
informational, not
Yes.
like a discussion.
Okay, I mean,
Just
yeah,
a constant
there's gotta be a
kind
way
of a-
to do that.
You know, kind of a, you know, letting you know, like, this is our special of the month, right? Kind of thing, in a way. It's not just about Lawrence Home or whatever. It's about other things that we're involved in. So, but I'll make a note to look into the one that is tagged as the Heritage Commission.
I'm not that savvy on
And
that.
I remember
I'm gonna-
Christina talking to us about that early on, but I can't remember all of the details that
Somebody's
went
gotta
on
be
with it, so.
savvy. It's not- I know a little bit.
So Carrie, thank you for that update there.
Yep,
Great.
my pleasure.
So, the plaque workshop. I have done a lot of work on trying to figure out who comes to this phase 1 workshop. Would you hammer this to Kathy, please?
Thank you.
So, as you remember, I divided them up, houses that were 50 years and older versus 75 and older. Because I have 113 or 111 homes total. And so after I went through everything, I had, you know, it was a pretty big list to try to get everyone involved. And I felt like, you know, as our first effort here, let's you know, make it 75 and older. So it's homes that are built through, I think it's 1948. So 1921 to 1948. And I think I have like something 48 or 58 homes. 8 or 10 of them are already plaqued. And out of that group, in this list that you see currently, is a total of 37 addresses. Now, some of these are already plaqued, which are highlighted in the orange. And the others are not plaqued. Now, what I have done additionally, I had 48 or 49. I recently updated this list in July to make sure, because I know people are buying and selling homes and all that mess. Try to get the current best identified owner of that home or of that property. and when they bought it, and then their names. And then I rode by each one of these houses on July 2nd and did a visual on the 48, not just the 37, 48 or 7. And I just kind of observed thinking, okay, this property probably, it's either, first of all, it's either been identified as a rental based on property search. So I know that who's living there is not the owner. The owner lives in Carolinas or something, okay? Also, the property was in really bad shape. It doesn't look like it looks like it's gonna need more than just some real basic cleaning up to make it, you know, I think for this first time, let's grab the ones that I think have the highest potential to get plaqued. Meaning, as not, like in other words, a structural things that they have to do. You know, does that make sense? Like maybe some minor landscape, power wash on the house, and they really would look pretty good to go, okay?
Are we also inviting the people that are plaqued?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why in a sec. So I came up with 37 addresses. I know a couple of them. I know that Christina, you have one of them. I have one. Well, we all four have one of those houses, okay? So I decided to invite plaque because I remember when I went to the workshop, Vichy does an amazing job with this workshop. She talks about every lot that was purchased in Keystone by Mr. Lawrence and how they were sold. All that detail, and tells you how to go in and research your own home, as you probably know well about that, Christine. And I was so fascinated with what that site down there that she works at has offers to us as homeowners, right? If you have bought an older home, I would think that you are pretty invested in knowing as much as you can find out about it. So I would think most people on this list have no idea about any of that. I know I didn't know anything about it, even though Deidre shared so much with us about the Lawrence home when we bought it. You know, when I went to that workshop, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool that, you know, we could do that. So I felt like even their plaques, let's invite them. They've already made the effort to become plaqued, and to me, they're like special guests. And I want to introduce them to the group so they can ask questions to
They've
those
also
folks.
never heard Vichy's whole
That's correct. None of them
thing, and
have
so
not.
we want to reinforce
I mean,
why they
Eddie
have
is
this
the
plaque.
only one on the list, I think, that's actually been at that, or when I was there that one time that I went. So I think that it certainly, you know, is an opportunity for them to, you know, hear what she's got to say. And then they can share, they can ask questions to people who already are plaqued, like, so what did you do, you know, to get plaqued? I'd like to have that. I think I'd like to have a little thing in my yard. What is that? You know, because there's people that say that. So that's how I've identified. Also, I really wanted to shoot for, I'd love to see 20 homes show up, but my minimal goal is 15 homes, meaning that's 30 people, because I'm asking them to bring a guest. Also, I'm going to invite city council and city manager as special guests. Whether they come or not, you know, I don't know, I just want to put the invite out there. But this is the list, and so my goal is to send out this RSVP letter by the end of August, because the date for the workshop is the 17th. And I'll just read it to you quickly. I found out just this yesterday, I think Christina will actually, I worked on creating my own letterhead and everything because I wasn't sure how it was going to go, so it looks actually pretty good.
Awesome. Great.
But Christina said that she would, if I give her the content, she will write it on city letterhead and envelopes and address and mail them for me.
Nice.
Which was certainly nice. So I start out as saying, dear Mr. Homeowner, the Keystone Heights Heritage Commission has selected you and a guest to represent your home while attending our VIP Historic Home Plaque Workshop on Saturday, September 17th, 2022. Our workshop will be held in the newly renovated Keystone Heights Historic Pavilion located on the beach of Lake Geneva in town. Our guest speaker, Vichy Gehrig, Archives Specialist for Clay County, will share historical insights about our cute little town and how you can learn more about your historical home, your special historical home. As chairman, I will discuss our Keystone Heights Heritage Commission's community purpose, plaque process, and why you might be interested in pursuing a plaque for your home. A delicious brunch will be served for your enjoyment while attending our VIP Historic Home function. The event is sponsored by the Keystone Heights Heritage Commission. Can you please respond to me so I can reserve your seat by Monday, September 12th, and whether or not you will bring a guest. and I'm giving them my cell phone and my email.
That's terrific. I love it. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
And
Hits all the points and.
yeah, and I will attach the agenda to it so they can see a little more descriptive on what each one of us will say or do, the same one that I shared with the city. What I'm trying to figure out is, because I have their address, is I want to kind of do I sent it out and I said, let me know by the 12th. Well, that's literally 5 days prior, okay? And I still don't have, and I'll talk to you about the vendors in a sec, I don't have concrete menu from the vendor, from Clyde's yet. So I'm also going to approach Orange Blossom to see what kind of pricing and what the offerings are. So I'm still trying to get that together. But I need to know, I'll have that date from them on what their final cutoff date is. But whoever's coming, if they just send me an email, say we'll be there, because I do want to do name tags, which we can do when they get there, and hand them a packet. But I kind of need to know for sure that they're coming so we can reserve for the food. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to reserve for 40 people and 10 show
I
up.
think we should get the letter out earlier.
Yeah, a little earlier?
Yeah,
Okay.
because 5 days is really not enough, and the mail takes, gosh, long knows.
So if I send the letter out by the end of August, 29th, say, or 30th, the event is the 17th, that gives them a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks.
Well,
That's-
but your RSVP is the 12th, right?
I know I was just playing with this date. So
Oh, okay.
I need to know from them, though. I will probably tell them sooner than that.
I would send it out as soon as you can.
Yeah, next
Okay.
week if you
Yeah.
can.
And then what do you think I should put as RSVP date?
I think a
Probably
week
7
before.
days?
Yeah. It's fine.
7 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming it's going to be a buffet, right?
Right.
And
but we're-
that gives the caterer flux. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
right.
And they always make more and whatnot. So.
Yeah, and because I'm going to have people serving for it so that we don't run out, and I was worried about that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and plan to get the letter out before the end of the month. And I'm just going to ask them to let me know something probably around after Labor Day that they're coming for sure.
Yeah. that would
And
be-
if I haven't heard back from them, I will try to track down a phone number and call them, just to be
Now,
sure.
the addresses that you're sending to,
Are
are there
in
PO
gray.
box
No.
or,
So as you can see here, it's all in gray.
yes.
That's the addresses.
Right,
And I
and
have
this might
street,
not be their mailing address because a lot of people have PO boxes.
and I have no way of knowing that.
We can go in, and I can do that if you'd like.
Okay.
I can go into the property card and look every one of these up.
Okay, that'd be
And
great.
decide, see whether, who has a PO box.
Okay.
Because there's no point in sending it, it's gonna come back.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right,
I just didn't know how
I'll
to
do
do
that.
that. Thank you, Deidre, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the whole point, is making sure that they got it, the invitation. Okay, so, let's see here. Calendar. So I would send it out by, let's say I send it out August 31st, the letter. It sound like a good date? Or should I wait
Okay,
until
I'll
after?
get everything done by Friday.
Okay, so should I send it out by August 31st?
Sure.
Okay, send letter.
Well, I mean, I would say as soon as Deidre gets you back the addresses, I'd send it out.
PO box.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to give it to Christina, because she said she would do the,
Those invited.
type it, get it typed in the address on the envelopes and all that.
Yeah.
So once I get that back from her, I can fine tune this for Christina so that it's not like, oh, what do I do? Like, it's a lot of information. So I need to put her on a separate spreadsheet. These are the mailing addresses. And I wanted to say, dear Mr. and Mrs. Drenning, dear Mr. and Mrs. Or Miss Williams, whatever. I've got them individually listed on the names. I really want it personalized.
Mhm.
I don't want to say, dear homeowner,
Mhm.
okay? I just think that they know my name.
Yeah.
Right? So these are just little details I think are important,
Yeah.
and then I want to hand sign every one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and then if you sign it, you'll just have to be there when she prints it.
Yeah. So, okay,
Or
so you said you're gonna get me the,
Did she
that
send
by,
us postage page on?
you want me to send you the spreadsheet? so
The
you
city
can-
will put it for the envelopes
Because
and
that
the
makes
Did
stamps.
y'all
people
even got a
try to
disc
get
away?
it a lot quicker.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's
postage
not
page.
postage page.
Well, I think, so,
Well, that's,
I
I
mean,
think
there's
that,
a RSVP
because Christina,
and
I've
like
redone this thing so many
electronic.
times.
Okay.
So
That's what
I'll
I
just,
think.
I'll just tell you which ones.
I'm gonna-
okay, then I can let her,
Because
perfect.
it's not for everyone, it's not everyone.
Okay, perfect.
Do you mind if I look at this real quick?
No,
So
go.
is your RSVP electronic?
What do you mean, electronic?
Like, is it like RSVP by, is it a phone call, is it an email? So I see you put your cell in your email. So-
Right, whichever way they can communicate,
yeah.
because I didn't know what.
Okay.
Ideally, I'd like to get all their phone numbers, because this is the first of several events to come. Okay? So
Yeah.
I really need to have good contact information from each homeowner.
Mhm.
But there's just so much you can get online.
So here, let me just show you real quick. On the property
Yeah,
website,
as long as there's something.
so here's the
different. 'Cause I
location of
know,
the address.
You know, right?
Okay?
I happen to
If
have
you scoot
stamps
down
and I've
here,
had to have
this tells you
a while
if they have a
back,
PO
but
box.
normally.
Okay.
So
And
it
this is-
doesn't, so what I'm gonna do is just
Right.
check that one off.
Yes,
If
because
they're
I
good.
looked at all of these right here.
Oh,
and
if
that.
you looked here,
I did, that's what
Then
I
that's
used.
it.
Yeah, that's what I used.
okay, then
Yeah.
all of these,
That should be correct.
they should be correct, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
check.
like I can,
Because,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Like I have a PO box, like I don't have my mailbox up, so this would not come to me.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I'll just double check them.
Yeah,
Yeah. What shows up, because hers is probably on there.
yeah, it's
It's on the wizard.
I
What's
need
your
that
street?
because I know
five
some.
five five Palmetto.
She's
It's
on
number
Palmetto.
35. So I have a PO box. Mine's at 973.
See, so that would not be right.
Yeah, if you look it up, because I did look at that box underneath the picture of the house. Because I could see some differences, like people who lived out of state or something, I could see the differences. That address was the most realistic address.
You know what? I think mine comes to Brooklyn Bay, actually.
I bet you it does.
Yeah.
But if,
But
even
it's
if it
still not
goes
on
to a
the-
different
right,
address,
it's
then
still not
that's
on
the
there,
whole
yeah.
point.
I know I'm gonna do that because somebody went in my mailbox.
Somebody what?
I know
It
somebody-
does, it goes to Brooklyn Bay,
Yeah.
but it's a different address.
Right.
So that's what we have to know.
What did I put on there? Did I put
Somebody
Palmetto or
went in
did
my
I
Yeah, you
put?
put Palmetto.
Oh, I did?
Because there isn't an area
I can
for,
tell
this
they
is the
went to-
street name
they
that
took
the
it
home
back,
is
yeah.
on.
Okay.
It doesn't have it.
Oh, yeah, the
It's
$5
not
coupon
an address.
Okay,
Yeah, my
gotcha.
So we
$5
really
coupon.
need
I
to
would see somebody
Okay,
tore it off.
gotcha.
I'm not
So,
good with this.
Okay.
I'm not too concerned about that really,
Excel
but
spreadsheet.
what else were they taking?
So if you
No,
can just
I'm
look
usually
at it,
right
to
on it,
look
and
at
then
the
you
different
post
address,
me,
and
comes
then
my
I'll
dog
change on the
barks, but
spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
fell asleep and I
Great.
couldn't get up.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Deidre.
So you just go down and open up a PO box and get all your mail there, everything?
No, I have just certain things go to certain places and
Oh,
certain,
I
you
get
know, just, but it just makes it easier when
Bills
you don't
and-
want a lot of things going
Right.
to your residential.
But that's just it. That's the first time it's happened, someone's went through my post.
Yeah, but a lot of people
mailbox.
do that. They have a PO box.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They
And they
come
don't
in
do
and do
that.
So I'm gonna tell them to RSVP by September 10th. That gives us
I
a
do
week
most everything online.
before the event.
Who knows what would come in their mailbox?
And hopefully I hear back. Hopefully people respond. Okay. So I showed you the letter, the RCP we talked about. I have reached out to Clyde several times. I know she told me she would give me a quote, but she has not gotten back to me. I'm going to pop in on see her again today. This will be my third effort in person. So I think either she's just busy or I just, you know, she would seem like she was all about wanting to do it, but I just need to make sure. Orange Blossom, I did call them and they're very interested in doing the event. So I will also be talking to them. So I need to secure that vendor like pretty quick. I want to make sure that we have no problems with that. When I submitted for the budget for this event, it was a total, so I'm showing here, of course, she's going to do stamps. I was showing, you know, probably 50 people on this when I submitted it at $15 each, and that's estimating about 25 homes, what, 10? Give or take, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I came out to about $750 for that, for food and drink. I'll also be doing some handouts, which I'm sure mostly can be done through here. The handout will include, I'm going to populate this home information form on each one of those houses before the event and attach it to the plaque application forms for them, like in a personalized packet for each person when they arrive, just so they have all the information they need. Let's see, and then whatever kind of decor or whatever, I'm gonna figure out what that might look like to make it feel kind of like it's special, you know. My goal too is that building is, the presentations I've been to are kind of tricky because the TV monitor is like way in the back. It's such a long and narrow room. Whatever setup I decide to do, it's gonna be people that are being brought in closer to these monitors. Because I know I go to the council meetings, you can't see what's on these monitors sitting right there. With a
No, you can't.
PowerPoint, you can't see.
you
And Vichy has a PowerPoint. So, you know, to get the most out of the presentation, you've got to be able to see the material, or you're not engaged. You don't even know what's going on. So I'm going to get in that room and try to figure
Is it
out.
on both sides, Nina, or is it one side in the pavilion?
I just saw a picture of it. I want to say it's one large
Yeah.
screen in the middle.
Right,
Is
and we
what I wanna
could
say.
put the chairs, you know, it's like long this way, we could put the chairs
We can-
this way
Yeah, we can do it
and
for
make the podium up
in the middle or
next
something.
to that side,
Yeah.
and so,
I'll-
and then,
and I'll bring it so that we're close together with the setup. So in other words, tables all lined like this, and chair facing, and maybe a couple of rows, but not all the way to the front of the building. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I gotta figure that out.
and then we could put up front, and again, it's gonna depend on where everything is exactly located, but up front, we could have some kind of a reception area that someone is going to sign people in
Yeah.
and greet them and tell them, okay, here's your little name tag and have a seat.
Right.
And then maybe the food be on the far side
Yeah.
where, although that would be, of course, farther away from the kitchen,
Yeah.
but the food then be on the far side, the lake side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just trying to figure out, we'll probably do our big banner outside like we did for the walking tour, just so they see it. And then having somebody either out near the parking lot and say, okay, it's down below in the pavilion.
Right.
Somebody at a welcoming desk when you walk in. We saw this in the challenges we had with the walking tour. Somebody there to greet people, give them their packet, give them a name tag, you know. And I just have to figure out, do we want them to eat first and then we do the presentations, or do we do the presentations first and then eat? I'll just have to figure out how I'm going to do that. I don't want people just to eat and leave.
Right, or if they could eat during the
Or
presentation.
eat during the
That's what I was
presentations.
thinking.
Yeah.
Once everybody
That's a
can
better way to
grab
do
the
it.
food
Yeah.
and eat, and then we start on the presentations. So, you know, and then I'll have to have people serving the food, whoever that is. So there's a lot of little details yet to hammer
And we
out.
want time also for people to mingle after the presentation,
Mhm.
so.
So I'll be
maybe
figuring out on the
dessert and
schedule,
coffee
it's
after.
10 to 1. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, I'll do an exact timeline on, I'll be calling Vichy, how long does yours take? Mine's only gonna take 20 minutes or something, pretty quick and simple, and then we'll just have people kind of mingling around, you know. But I'll do a precise timeline on how we're gonna roll with it.
And we should get name tags too.
Yes. I'm actually
Say
trying to,
Heritage Commission,
yeah,
just so people that they can, you know, if they have a question, they know they can come up to Christine.
and maybe
they
we'll
can
all
come
wear
up
the
to
same
Carrie.
color shirt or something.
Or
Right.
maybe we can get Heritage Commission shirts.
Yeah, either that or like something that we can, you know, I can ask Christina about, because that's something I've been looking at is name tags, business cards, and like a shirt that we can wear at an event.
You know, I saw a lot of mingling while at the tour homes when people were waiting in line to sign up. There was a lot of mingling between the people,
Yeah.
with us. I mean, there was a lot.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, and
It was.
and I do think that'll happen when we get these people together. So,
It's Keystone, everybody knows everybody.
that's right. I will be calling Vichy this week to, before the end of the month for sure. She has confirmed twice. I just call her again. And I just need to find out specifics, what she needs us to have there for her. Whether, I mean, I know she brings her computer with her presentation, but I need to understand all the setup, and I can talk to Christina about that. You know, for her to connect and project and all that, you know, speaking, I mean, the speaker, the microphone and whatnot. So just make sure she's plugged and ready to go. I already have put together a presentation that I've shared some with you all. I'll fine tune it. And I'll be looking for some input on, you know, the value of your home if you decide to become plaqued. What is the benefit? So, I mean, I feel like homeowners are going to want to say, so what is in it for me? So I really want to come up with some data points, and I may actually do some research
Bragging
on it.
rights is basically it.
Well, it's, yeah, but I mean, it's, you know, it's,
Bragging rights, tour of homes, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think,
It's not gonna add any specific value from like a monetary standpoint, because we are not a heritage, district.
yeah,
That's when it adds value.
yeah. And then that's when there tends to be more rules and all too,
Well,
right?
there's a lot of rules.
Yeah, we don't
It's
want
a lot of
And
things.
people don't want that.
No.
Right.
But a lot of people really do not want that.
Right.
So we have to distinguish that we are not that, like,
Yeah.
upfront, and that's probably one of the things Vichy will touch on,
Yeah,
what we are not first.
yeah,
You know, we're not here to tell you how to paint the color of your home or anything like that.
correct.
We're not here to give you, you know, instructions on what you can and cannot do with your home on the exterior.
Yeah.
We're not a heritage district.
So I, you know, I wanted to make them feel like, you know, I do think it grows on the community side, you know, it kind of creates a society within a society. It's almost like a homeowners club, if you want to call it that, because not everybody owns an old home, right? And I feel like just if you bought it, there's a reason you bought it,
Mhm.
you know, because you could have bought something different.
Mhm.
So you know what you're getting into, more or less. And it is pretty lonely when you don't know what to do. Well, if you're a single woman and you're trying to do all these things, well, it'd be nice if you knew a few people that could help you do stuff, you know? I mean, really, I mean it. And so to me, this gives us opportunity to share that knowledge. So it really is kind of helping you to embrace your home at a different level with some help. And they're all in the same boat as you. And where to go buy certain things. I mean, I could tell a ton of stories about that. But so I will be coming up with a list. I will actually research it myself a bit and see what I can come up with that makes people feel like I really didn't think about it like that. You know.
One point, can I share something?
Mhm.
This is really plumb crazy, but right now in the real estate industry, homeowners insurance has become such an issue because there are so many insurers leaving the state. And my insurance just got canceled because Southern Fidelity went bankrupt. This is my third insurer. Oh my God, I'm like losing it. And you know, my insurance agency was Darshak out of Kingsville. I mean, they're like a big company.
Yeah.
And so getting other homeowners insurance, you know, you have to fill out the application, and one of the questions are you in a historic home? They don't want to insure you.
If it's tagged as that. Wow.
And, you know, just the fact that it's 100 years old in and of itself, it's like they don't want to insure you.
Hmm.
And it's a big issue. And so what I'm saying here is if you have homeowners, don't change.
Yeah.
But it is something that, you know, people that are moving in, we don't want to touch on this, we do not want to address this, it's really not for this discussion, but just so y'all know, it's becoming a big issue. They really only want to insure brand new construction. I mean, that's their goal. And so, any home with, you know, older pipes, older
Roofs.
electric, older roof, you are not getting insured. And so it's really become a big issue. And I just thought it was interesting that on each of the applications, they had now, one of their questions was, are you a historic home?
What did you check?
No,
Yeah, because you're not.
I'm not.
You're not right.
I'm not in a historic district.
Right.
And
And that's really what they mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotcha.
because you asked, well, what do you mean by historic home? It's, are you in a historic district?
Right, and they have my home listed, you know, as a 1947, because that's what
Right.
it says on the
Yeah,
property
right.
tax record,
Mine
and
is
I
like
leave it at that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so we want to make sure people are aware of
Well,
this.
so it's a
not
benefit,
historic
right,
district.
to not be a historic district.
It's just a.
yeah, and I don't think we want to ever touch on that at all.
Yeah.
It's just I thought among ourselves, we should know that,
Yeah,
in case.
good to know. Yeah, we haven't had any problems. So, knock on wood. We're worried more about being hurricanes on the water. because of where we were before.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
it's when your insurer leaves the state,
Yeah.
I mean, I had an insurance company for years and years and years, they're great, and then they left the state, then I had to get new insurance. These guys went bankrupt, and I'm like, we haven't had a hurricane, how can they go bankrupt? Because that insurance company also writes business in Mississippi and Louisiana, and guess who's been hit super hard?
Yep. We
Yep.
split it, we share it between
Yep.
all those hurricanes.
Yes, we
Yeah,
split
we
it.
do.
And so
It's crazy.
then the next one, they put me under, this was like all in 2 weeks, they were canceling. I'm like,
I went
I've
through
been
that.
dealing with this for a
I
month
went through
and a
that
half,
when I
it's
had
like crazy.
Slab Week and HVAC week. I got 3
Yeah.
cancellations right in a row.
Yeah, you're good.
Go to Flow. Flow has been really good to me. You know who Flow is, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Progressive.
It's too funny. So anyway, I will kind of figure out kind of how I want to position that, and I'll share with you guys too before, because we'll have our meeting right before the actual workshop.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Any questions about the workshop coming up? There's a lot of little details that are still going on yet.
What do you need us to help you with? I mean, aside from going through and checking these, what other little details? You shouldn't be taking all of this on
No.
yourself. That's what we're here for. So what other things can we do and check off your list?
Well,
I know you got Vichy.
yeah, but I for sure going to have volunteers that Saturday to help.
Right.
I'm gonna ask, what do you need? Just
and-
put me down
And I
just
think
put me
Mary Lou
in
said she would
something.
help that Saturday. She went ahead and put it on her calendar.
Yeah.
But for sure volunteers.
I don't know if they cater or not, but we should maybe Cedar River or.
But I didn't know if they did like breakfast type thing though, because it's a brunch. So it's kind of like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
it's
they
10 to
probably
1.
don't. Yeah.
So 10 o'clock to me is kind of early to have
Right.
seafood, you know?
Yeah.
I thought
Yes.
about those guys because they're so nice.
My son works at Orange Blossom, and I've already texted him.
Huh?
Oh, good.
My son works at Orange Blossom.
Oh, yeah.
I've already texted him, he said, just let him know if they don't get back to you.
Well, so I got an email from a guy who's their caterer manager or something,
Mhm.
and he was supposed to get back to me last Wednesday, I think. I think it was last Wednesday, but I haven't heard back from him yet. He actually sent me an email, so he was very nice. But I haven't talked to him live yet. But he did reach out, because I went to Facebook and asked, and then they came back to me. So pretty quickly, actually. So I was kind of surprised he hadn't called me back yet. But that's good to know.
And does clients know that we will be paying them?
I
Because
told her
last
that.
time it
Oh,
was,
yeah, yeah.
you know, it was
No, I told
great.
her. No, I told her that we would be paying for it, and I wanted price points for different offerings. Like, you know, let's say we do, it's for a group. So let's just say it's biscuits and gravy and coffee
Right.
and maybe fruit or something. Or she suggested like quiche and a side salad, which I think is a fine
That would
kind of
be
thing. That'd be
perfect.
perfect. But I said I need to know how much, you know, because I said the commission's paying for it per person, so I need to kind of know. So I will be jumping in there today again and seeing if I can talk to her. I just need to get something in writing.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't just go with like, I'll send it to you. I gotta have it in writing and then have a commitment.
And we
So-
need to know numbers.
And I need to know numbers, yeah. So, let's see here.
What day is
The
the
other
workshop?
thing is,
September 17th.
Okay.
let's see, y'all are asking me about how to help. Probably when we get ready to create the handouts, when I get everything put together. So I do need some help, probably. I'm going to Vichy's place and researching these homes. We're gonna need to have this information on these homes, all of them actually, the whole 111 that I have on the list at some point in time. But I feel like this is a beginning to, you know, cause us to seek out information. And once we go there, maybe we will uncover, oh, I didn't know we could add this. This is something she consistently has and we can add it.
Why don't we start
But
with
this
the
becomes-
RSVP people?
Right, well, and then, you know, true, that's how I wanted to do, start with the RSVP, but we get so close to the time of the event, I worry about us running out of time to go do it. Because it's gonna take a day to go to Clay County and do this, or sometime afternoon. And I have to make an appointment with Vichy to do it. So, you know, I can talk to her and ask her what her schedule looks like, say even next week, to pick a day and then see if any of y'all can go with me. But I feel like we're gonna have these folks need to be in our so-called library anyway, right? so we can know which house that is and we know what we know about it, right? So it becomes our permanent information. It's just for the purposes of this, you know, I don't know if I'll know RSVP quick enough to go do that just for those people, you know, because of being getting so close. So it's 35, it's, you know, say each of us takes 6 or 7 homes and tries to figure it out. I know Dave will go, Mary Lou talked about going. But let me do this, let me talk to her, see how flexible her time and dates are, that we make the field trip and go. I gotta look at my schedule for next week, and then I can send you guys an email and we can see what we can do. Sometime before the 1st of September. Sound good? Yeah. Okay, that would be a big help.
Is that your field trip, the children's field trip?
No, that's in the spring.
This one here?
But she's talking about going to the archives to look up the old homes, the historic homes for the information
Oh,
for the
okay.
workshop.
Okay.
Are you on the email distribution list?
Yeah.
Okay. She said she's
It's in the other document, okay.
Okay.
I just perused it last night, I was,
No worries.
Yeah,
I
I just-
think Maddie
that's a
said
big
she'll
help.
send an email. You're gonna send that to the
She's
home
really good
history
at it.
list?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
I'll send it to y'all and you can let me know what you can do. Put you and Mary Lou on it also.
yeah, I'll definitely do this,
And well, it'll be a learning,
workshop.
I'll be there.
I'll definitely do that to help you.
yeah, it'll be a kind of a learning kind of thing.
Mostly because
So beyond the, I'm gonna try to get in there early to kind of look around at the setup, and then I gotta think about how I'm gonna decorate, how to make it feel inviting, real simply. So I have to figure all that out yet.
If you want me to go down there with you, I will, just let me know.
Yeah,
I just live down the street, right?
Yeah, I just kind of gotta get a feel, and once I kind of know too how many people are gonna come, it'll help me
Yeah,
as well.
I'm here till the end of August for sure, so anything you need in the next,
Okay.
whatever, let me know.
Okay. So that's it for the workshop for now.
Okay.
So, for now, anyway.
storing information.
Going to the
So I have.
going to the wreath workshop is, I've identified 35 businesses, and what we'll start doing after the workshop is over, start really trying to put together some sort of budget. Deidre was kind enough to give me what she had done before, and I'll use that kind of as a guide and start seeking out there to see what we can do with the goal of trying to make them in November. But the thing is, the 35 businesses, I already have a spreadsheet on them. I would go and knock on their door and say, hey, we're gonna make a wreath for all the businesses, from 100 all the way to the park on both sides, and do you want one? And they say yes or no, because I don't have somebody saying, well, I didn't get one, or whatever. You know, I just want to offer it. If they don't want it, that's fine. But we want to put this on your door probably around the 1st of November or December, when the city decorates at around the same time. And then we'll pick it up at the end, you know, after the holiday's over, and store it until next year.
I'll help you with that.
And I'm thinking they're going to cost us probably close to $50 a piece. I hope not, but they might. But, you know, we'll just have to kind of look and see. And then we'll have a little get together where we kind of set up and make them, you know. So I think it'll be a fun thing to do.
So $50 a piece at 35, that's almost $1,800.
Yeah. I know, I need to see.
Half of the budget for next year.
Yeah, I have to think about it as far as, I shot high, it's probably much less than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just throwing a number out there to try to get an idea. Okay, so speaking of the budget for next year, we got approved for $4,000.
That's great.
Good job.
Lynn went to bat for us and has requested $4,000. Now, I can send you all a copy of this, and I'll leave this copy also with, well, actually, I don't know, Christine, if you have the copy or not. I did send it to Lynn early in the week. I'll give it to you. So I saw Lynn at the meeting of the council, and she told me that she had gotten $4,000 approved, but she needed me to create a budget, and pretty quickly she needed that information. So I sent it to her before I left town. Here's what I have projected, and I certainly want you all's input. I just need to show how we would spend the $4,000, okay? And as you know, we only had $1,500 before, and most of it was never spent. So the biggest thing Lynn says is they want us to spend the money, you know. That's why.
Well, we're doing events now, so.
Correct. So that's why we are going to use up that money. I can tell you that right now with this other thing that I'm doing this September. So I put down, we will do another phase 1 workshop for those phase 1 owners, again, who didn't either come you know, or I have to consider ones that, you know, probably couldn't make it or whatever, but offer it to them, right? At one point or another, my goal out of the 113 homes is to have 75% of them plat. Hopefully we give them enough back that makes them want to do that. And the goal of that is it beautifies our city. You know, it makes people want to come here. It makes people want to ride around and see things. How many times you run through these little towns and you see these really cute houses? It just kind of gives you that extra need to keep your place up and making it look attractive and things like that. So anyway, I will do another phase 1 next year. The walking tour, of course, that I would like to add a shuttle to that, so we will maybe beef it up a bit. It had a great response this year, and I think we can have even a better response next year.
Are you thinking of May again on that?
Yeah, I was thinking
Okay.
May again probably for that. The Christmas wreath thing, that of course will come out of next year's budget because it's going to be November, December. The kids' field trip is going to come out of next year's, or
Yeah.
you know,
I'm thinking March.
yeah. Because
And
remember,
we want to send the kids home with something.
correct, because we'll figure something. I even put here, I said history lesson, bag lunch, and a token.
Well, there's all the money right there. $4,000 done.
Right. Historic Home Plaque Workshop for Phase 2, which is the homes that were built before 1972. So that's a whole other group of homes. The styles, the designs, all of that are totally different. And I put down there, we have maybe 15 homes, 30 people, and it's around, you know, each one of those plaque workshops, I've got around $650 each for. But again, it all depends on attendance, et cetera. The historic homes meet and greet mixer. This is where all 113 properties are invited to an event at the pavilion. That could be like a wine and cheese, you know, wine and beer and charcuterie type of a, you know, event, mainly to get to know each other, who each other is.
When is that?
I don't know yet. I just had to give her I want to add 2 events to our existing 4
Okay.
for next year, and the year after that, I want to add 2 more. So I was trying to figure out what gains the most presence. What is the biggest giving back? To me, this meet and greet thing, because it is all of our customers, if you want to call it that, is for them to kind of get to know each other. So it's the blend of the 2 styles of homes. And who knows, maybe we'll invite some local vendors that do services for homes, you know, as guests, or let them set up. I don't know what the rules are with that, you know, but we maybe so they can meet some of those people. You know what I mean? It's still kind of in the air, but I think it's we have an opportunity to do that. And it kind of becomes its own like little club, like they all know each other. And a lot of these places do tend to know each other when they're part of a group like that.
And I think too, we need to, maybe not this year, but 2023 for sure, start talking to all these homeowners about the centennial
Exactly.
and
So
their centennial event.
what's going
And
on?
what's coming up in 2025, and how the Heritage Commission will be working with that
Right.
group to really, you know, beef up the whole town for that year, not
Yes.
just your home. It's everything.
It's actually really a perfect scenario, because if we can get most of those homeowners in one
Done
building
already.
and we can share all that with them, it promotes that effort. They may want to volunteer for that effort. And I think we all have talked about doing an inside tour of homes for the holidays. So it could be that winds up going to December next year, which would be 24 money, so it's a different allotment of money. But I think that as we continue to kind of build this energy and enthusiasm, you know, we just got to take baby steps to get there. And, you know, we're not going to get all of them, but we're going to get more than we got right now.
Yeah.
It's the way I see it.
We're making incredible strides here
Yeah,
with awareness.
yeah.
And I think not just this workshop event, but I really strongly believe in getting the kids involved. They need to learn the history of Keystone.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of that, so they're doing Boo on the Boulevard on October 29th.
Mhm.
So maybe that's an opportunity this year to reach the kids.
Yeah, to do something,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
because that will be here in the park and like up on
And maybe have a
Lawrence,
Heritage Commission booth.
something to give out
Something,
candy.
and give out
and,
candy
you
or
know,
something, you know,
little,
everybody think of
you
something.
know, magnets or,
Yeah.
you know, something.
Yeah.
But,
Something like that.
that's an opportunity, because it's.
I'll be at mine house giving out candy.
Yes.
I know, mine was like, it's crazy, all that's kind of crazy, and then I'm doing it on the 31st.
But,
The other thing I didn't add in here, of course, I was just trying to put this together pretty quickly for her, was to have a high school trip, a high school situation where grab one of the classes and do something with the historical thing with them. I don't know, we have to get a little more inventive with him because they're older.
yeah, someone else can do that.
Yeah, I know.
I'll stick with
Well,
the
it was
fifth
just an
graders.
idea that
Yeah.
I think, you know, it'd have to be something kind of creative. It would
For
almost have to
sure.
be like a reenactment or something, and it's at the school, you know, or
How
something, I
about
don't know.
pickleball tournament?
Or something that they would have an interest in seeing, you know.
And then, we talked, I think another idea for the budget would be to invite other heritage commissions around, especially from the county, to have a little, you know, get together.
Melrose.
Yeah, like they do with the cities, you know, the
Yeah.
biggest cities, so do something with the other heritage commissions.
And, you know, we could probably do something like that where we say, hey, we're gonna get together and have dinner at, you know, the seafood place there, and have, if you guys wanna come, we'd like to have you come, and we'd like to talk with you, you know, just meet each other and
I
get
mean,
together,
the
and everybody
Melrose-
pays their own way to go, and,
Yeah,
you
the
know.
Melrose group is really active and they don't even have a city.
Yeah. So, I mean, even Bradford County, you know, the ones that are real close by, and just say, we're gonna, it's almost like the League of Cities, but it's just in this little area right here. And, we're all gonna get together and have dinner somewhere where we can sit and talk and, you know,
Mhm.
versus having a formal, like, venue, you know what I mean? So we don't have to pay any money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's harder, like at a sit-down dinner, to really, you know,
To
mingle.
talk.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have it like an open space, like the pavilion, and,
Mhm.
but, so I don't know.
There's just money associated.
Just
Because
like
we used to
that.
do,
Yeah.
we did, because we're big Porsche Club members, and so we would have our meetings, even regional meetings, and invite to go at a restaurant, and you bet 30 or so people show up, but you're in a room
Yeah.
that's a little kind of quiet,
Right.
not in the mainstream restaurant,
Yes.
and you have somebody stands up and speaks,
Uh-huh.
and they all kind of introduce each other, and this is what I do, this is what we have going on, what
Yeah.
y'all have going on, that kind of thing. So we can kind of work together on our events and you know, help them market their events like they would with us, that kind of stuff. That's something to do to me. That's something else that I want to get more involved in, you know, that
Yeah.
have not been involved
If
in.
you
can
didn't
find
do
a
it
right
at a
venue.
restaurant, what about one of the churches? I know Sheriff's Net uses
It's a
the
good
church
idea.
up there, and they actually provide a small little supper
Uh-huh.
type thing.
Or
Yeah.
the women's club.
A
Yeah.
women's club?
The
Yeah.
women's club's only $100 to rent unless you're
Yeah.
a member or whatnot.
I mean, we
And
can get in the
we could
pavilion.
potluck it. Everybody could bring something, and,
Yeah,
you know, we did a
Yeah, the
reunion there
pavilion
one
would be
time at
nice.
the women's club.
yeah.
Women's club's a good opportunity because it's small enough
Yeah.
that it forces everybody to really mingle, you
Yeah.
know, and yet it's large enough to hold a
We
group.
could bring in our own drinks. I mean,
And
Yeah. I mean,
the
this-
Middleburg Heritage Commission
You
and the
can-
Orange Park
you can-
Heritage Commission are
Car-
really active.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Does
Really
anyone
easy.
know
Pull
what
apart
happened
very
to the
easy.
property in the original amphitheater here? It's right over there by the women's club.
Chautauqua.
The sinkhole.
The ravine.
It's, well, it's just a
Chautauqua
big,
Circle.
it used to be an amphitheater.
Well, it's still there. The circle.
Yeah, does somebody
Nothing's-
privately own
no.
it, or?
I think
From what I
someone does
understand.
own it. I mean,
Well,
it's property. Yeah, someone's got to own it.
Well, I thought the city owned it.
Oh. Did they? I don't know. Can
It
look.
used to be, and I think, I remember seeing pictures of it. I have to go back through the archives, but they had set it up as an amphitheater, and it was just like crude benches and things like that.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
And it's right there by the women's club.
Mhm.
I mean, if there was some way we could get them, I mean, that would be a great venue, because the women's club,
I mean, it's wooded now. I mean, it's not.
Oh, it's
dark out.
overgrown
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
point where, yeah.
well, the building that originally stood there was an opera theater.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
That's very
At the
cool.
women's club?
At the women's
Right there at
club, and then
Cumberland.
you've got the little mead house there, it's up for sale now. the meat house, that's where,
Been listed.
yeah, Dr. Mead was the one that oversaw the
That's a cute
Chautauqua.
little house.
And a little guest house in back where the speakers stay.
Yeah, that is the cutest house. She showed it to me. So
My sister used to live there.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so darn cute, very cute.
Where's the women's club?
It's,
Over on Chautauqua and Women's Club Circle.
it's down from you.
By
like
the-
a couple
by the
blocks
high
down.
school.
Fairway.
Oh, by the high
Fairway,
school.
it's
Okay.
Fairway, but that would be picture, I think it would be a great little
Place.
asset to the city.
Yeah, they still have it.
And like I said, having the women's club so close in there, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
To rent that for any kind of
Yeah.
event.
And honestly, I could have something like that in my house. I got the room to do it. I mean, you know, keeping it pretty simple. Well, does anybody else have anything else to add for today's meeting?
It's right in here.
Excellent. We're done.